So, whether you're climbing the corporate ladder or hustling as an entrepreneur, I'm going to explore how increased responsibilities and expectations from associate levels to business ownership impact family time and where lines are drawn in sand. Join me as I break down these intricate dynamics and seek answers to maintaining harmony in both worlds because it's hard. What's up, everyone? This is Fit for Business with me, Jarod Lehn. If you could do us a favor, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and tap that subscribe button. Or if you're listening on Spotify, please tap that follow button now. We can't thank you enough. Welcome to episode 42. And for those of you who don't know, I'm the proud owner and founder of Socialtopia, a social media marketing agency based out of Monroe, New York. We've been in business now for 7 years. Our agency primarily partners with fitness entrepreneurs and home service professionals, helping them elevate their brands and achieve their marketing goals. So today, we're going to focus on a lot of meaty topics. Right now, I want to jump into what I'm calling the employee perspective, right? So what does that mean? What am I talking about here? So navigating work-life balance. Let's break that down a little bit. How job roles and salaries overly influence the delicate balance, everybody strives for. So let's start down at the associate level, right? So to put it in perspective, picture Maria, a marketing associate earning, let's say, 60 to 80K a year. Maria clocks in at 9 a.m. and out at 5 p.m., almost like clockwork. She's able to enjoy dinner with her family most nights, attend her daughter's soccer game, and even squeezes in some weekend getaways. Maria's role is very well defined, and she enjoys the predictability it brings. However, like many, she feels the slight pressure of wanting to excel occasionally, putting in extra hours during like campaign launches or busy seasons. All right, so let's move away from this. Now, let's move up the ladder a little bit to an associate name. Let's call him Sam, a mid-level manager in, let's say, a tech firm. Sam's salary is higher, which comes with a different set of expectations now, right? His role not only demands just his time, but his constant engagement, even outside office hours, right? There are late night emails and most likely impromptu meetings. The boundaries between work and home kind of blur. Yet Sam strives to maintain a sem balance, right? Balance of setting non-negotiable family time during the weekend. It's challenging, but he finds solace in scheduling these moments as if they were crucial meetings. Now let's flip the script and go above that. At the executive level, we have, let's say, Lisa, a senior executive in finance. Lisa's responsibilities are vast, right, with a salary reflecting the weight that she carries. For her, work often spills over into personal time. And there's an unwritten rule in her corporate world. Availability equates to commitment, right? So, yet Lisa is fiercely protective of her family dinners, even if it means jumping back online later in the evening. Her strategy: clear communication with her team about these boundaries, which in turn would help foster probably a culture where balance is respected and encouraged. So as we climb the corporate ladder, these expectations subtly shift, right? Often unspoken, but deeply embedded in that 9 to 5 work culture. I think these unwritten rules can dictate how employees feel about taking time off or unplugging after hours, right? So to talk more about this, right? So employees like Maria, Sam, and Lisa probably employ various strategies. And let's say some time management strategies, right? Becomes evidently crucial, right? As does the ability to set these firm boundaries. A lot of people, including these guys, find success in prioritizing tasks, delegating when possible, and using technology probably to automate mundane tasks. Moreover, probably advocating for flexible work arrangements, right? Those could be a game changer, allowing, right, for a more personalized approach to that, balancing that work life with family life. So, right, as they say, while the path to achieving work-life balance is riddled with challenges, it's not insurmountable. So, by understanding these expectations tied to the roles of the employees I was talking about, they too can actively manage their time with the employees and carve out spaces for both professional success and personal fulfillment. So, as I'm diving deeper into these expectations between business work life balance, let's continue the conversation and kind of redefine success in ways that honor both our careers and our loved ones. So let's go down the rabbit hole a little bit more, shall we? Let's rip the script and going from like the 9 to 5 to the entrepreneurial challenge that these guys and girls find themselves in day out in the trenches, right? So let's talk about a person. Let's call him Jake. Jake, who maybe launched a tech startup 2 years ago, right? So probably right after COVID. The initial excitement of building something from scratch, which we all know is very exhilarating for him. However, the reality quickly set in: long hours, relentless problem solving, and the constant pressure to innovate. Jake, like many, often find himself working until a late night with his laptop glowing long after his children have gone to bed and his spouse. The startup world demands his attention most, around the clock, right? Leaving him, like others, struggling to find quality time with his family. Yet, somebody like Jake is very proactive, right? He's learned to prioritize key family moments like Sunday brunches and nightly story time with his children and family to ensure he stays connected, right? Which I think is very important, right? Somebody like Jake that, just started a startup 2 years ago. There's a lot of work from the beginning of the startup, the execution, everything that comes with it to be able to do that, burning the midnight oil and then some. But it always catches up to you. Make no mistake. So let's go down the hole here. So then I'm going to talk about, let's say, somebody named Emily. Emily runs like a brick and mortar, a successful bakery. Her day as a baker starts before dawn, crafting pastries and managing the business side of the venture. The bakery is her dream come true, but as always, they come with sacrifices, right? Emily's evenings are often spent planning for the next day, which likely can spill into her family time. To combat this, she sets strict boundaries: no work talk during dinner, and a hard stop at 8 p.m. to unwind with her family. Emily also involves her kids in the business, turning weekend bakery visits into family bonding time, which I think, that's pretty cool. If somebody that has a brick and mortar that's able to bring their children to bond and see what it's like. So getting back, the luxury of clocking in and out, right? That responsibility, right? Every aspect of the business rests on their shoulders, our shoulders, making it difficult to turn on and off, in this case, off. The line between personal and professional life is easily blurred, presenting like a continuous challenge, I say, to maintain that balance, right? To navigate these waters, many entrepreneurs, as myself, adopt specific strategies, can say that word. Time management and delegation become really vital, which I have tried to do very much so. Entrepreneurs like Jake and Emily really are going to leverage technology to automate tasks and streamline operations more effectively, freeing up precious time for family. Setting clear boundaries is non-negotiable with entrepreneurs. Learning to say no to non-essential commitments are going to protect their personal time. This is something I hold dear and true to my heart. Being able to say no. Now, I know how to say no very well. I have no shame in saying no, no matter whom it is at the end of the day. I love all my family. I love all my friends. I will say no if it means taking away time from the business. On the flip side, I will not say no to major family events, if that makes sense. If there's something going on, like this weekend, we're all going to a football game, right? Big family gathering. Not going to miss it for the world. You know, on the weekends, I'm there trying to be more involved, very much more involved, I should say, helping my kids, and being with my kids and getting them to their sports and their activities because I want to be there, right? But then there's a give and a take because now there's time that I'm not spending on building my business offline, so to speak, on getting things done that I know I can get done that's not impacting me during the week, right? So building a support network, I think, is so crucial, right? Whether it's hiring a reliable staff, seeking a mentor, or just being able to lean on a family or friend and having that support can really, really alleviate some of the pressures of what we know of entrepreneurship. It's also important, I think, in my gut, for entrepreneurs to prioritize self-care, ensure they're physically and mentally equipped to handle the demands of both business and family life, which is so true. And this goes why boundaries are so essential. In our hyper-connected world that we're in, right, the lines between professional and personal life often blur, which can lead to burnout and stress. So without clear boundaries, work can seep into family time, making it very hard to disconnect and recharge. So that's why it's really important, guys, to set boundaries. Setting boundaries can help create that mental and physical space where we can really, focus on what matters, be a project deadline or a family dinner. So after doing some research on a psychologist, Dr. Susan David, she's a renowned psychologist, and she says and emphasizes that boundaries allow us to preserve our energy and prioritize tasks that really align with our values, right? So by setting these boundaries, she says, we can respect our own needs and can communicate them, to others, paving the way for healthier relationships and overall more balanced life, right? So what are some tips and settings for these boundaries? She has a plethora of these tips I'm going to share with you, right? So number one, start by identifying what's most important to you. Is it spending evenings with your family or ensuring your weekends are work free? Knowing your prioritize will help you set boundaries that will protect what you value most. Number two, communicate clearly. Communication is very crucial. Let your colleagues, your clients, your family know your boundaries. For instance, inform your team that you don't check emails after 7, or tell your family that certain hours are dedicated to work. Clear communication, I think, can prevent misunderstandings and encourage mutual respect, which was number two, which she says is highly regarded. Number three, use technology wisely. If you leverage technology to set up to your advantage, you can do things like set up automatic responses for after hours, emails, or use scheduling tools to plan out your day effectively. There's so many apps, like one I could say is Social Swift Pro, that can help you stay focused during work hours, right? Or ensuring you to maximize your productivity to free up time for family. Number four, create physical space. So, what does that mean? If possible, designate a specific area in your home or your work, right? This physical boundary helps you kind of signal that transition from work mode to personal time. So, once you leave this space, that can help you make a conscious effort to switch off and engage with your family. And now, this is something I will say I need to do better at, right? Because I could take this laptop with me anywhere, bring it upstairs, stay in my office. My mobile phone goes with me. It's like my office. But I think number four is really crucial. I would like to personally start doing that, having a larger boundaries, not being able to access things that I need to be getting when I should be engaging with family. Practice saying no. Number five, like I was saying before, it's okay to say no to non-essential tasks or commitment that infringe on your personal time or even your work time. I think practicing assertiveness can be empowering, and that helps you maintain the boundaries that you've set. 6, schedule downtime. Just as you schedule meetings, right? Schedule downtime too. Block off time in your calendar for relaxation, for hobbies, family activity. Treat these appointments with the same importance as work commitments, right? And it makes sense. So let's talk about that. So for me personally, I have my calendar blocked off starting 5:30 a.m. in the morning for when I get up to bang out work from 5:30 to 7. And then from whatever time, 7 till let's say 9, I know I'm responsible for all the family commitments I need to getting my kids out the door, getting them to the bus, getting them to school, getting them where they need to be, to where I get back in my office, let's say like a little after 9 to get back to where it's going. Come around 12 o'clock, I have my time blocked off. In between whatever I'm getting done from 9 to 12, noon comes around. I have my set commitment for me to go train, work out, and then have lunch. I come back and whether I have appointments and other things I'm doing to work on the business, that's going from let's say 2 to 6, 2 to 5:30, depending upon the day, what's going on outside of work. So I like to always say I'm a student of my calendar. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes in the evening, I too break these boundaries and these commitments I have pre ingrained into my brain when I know I should not be on my phone, right? Focus should be on my family, and that's it. No ifs, ands, or buts. So I personally am working on these things as well. I'm only human. So we saw how crucial it is, right, to manage time effectively and set boundaries to really protect personal time, right, from professional like encroachment, right? So these stories I shared with you from these employees, I feel demonstrated the pressure of climbing the corporate ladder while striving to preserve family life, right? Mm. And then on the flip script, on the entrepreneurial front, we acknowledge, right, the unique pressures that are faced by business owners from really the demands of launching a venture to sustaining it over time. We know how entrepreneurs are. We see what we see online, their frustrations. They illustrate the need for clear boundaries, right? And the importance of leveraging supports, right? Leveraging support networks to maintain that equilibrium, right? So setting boundaries emerges as a pivotal theme, right, across both realms. This is what it comes down to. So I talked about, practical strategies as identifying, prioritizing priorities, communicating effectively, using technology wisely, and practicing assertiveness. Those boundaries that I spoke about are not only there to protect our time, but enhance our overall well-being and relationship, guys, right? This, like I was saying, allows us to be present in both our professional and personal lives. So now here are some other actionable items for you to consider. Peace of mind. Number one, evaluate and prioritize. Take a moment to evaluate your current work-life balance, right? Identify these areas where boundaries might be lacking and prioritize what truly matters to you. And that's what I was saying before. For me personally, I know I need to work better on after work. That's it. Maybe I'm not even wearing my smartwatch, but leave my smartwatch off. Don't touch my phone. Don't look at email. Don't look at notifications on the phone. It's clear, cut and dry family time, and that's it. Two, communicate boundaries. As I was saying, be open with your boundaries with your colleagues and family. I feel like it's just going to gain mutual respect. Clear communication can really help prevent misunderstandings, and it really will help foster respect for your personal time. Here's another one, right? It's important. I always tell my wife, schedule personal time. Just as you would be a business meeting, you got to schedule time for yourself and loved ones, whether that's working out, going to the hair salon, getting your nails done. Treat this time with the same importance as any work commitment or family commitment. Number four, leverage whatever support systems you have, and if you don't find them, don't hesitate to lean on family, friends, or professional networks. Building a support system really can help you alleviate some of the pressures, right? And help reinforce those boundaries. I think it's a good one too. Reflect and adapt. Regularly reflect on your boundary setting strategies, right? That will really only help you to adapt as your circumstances change. It's hard, but balance is a dynamic process and being flexible is key. So I invite you to ponder this, right? Hear me out. What is one boundary you can set this week that you feel could make a significant impact on your work and family life. Think about that. So think about it. Think about a boundary, right? That you haven't set. What I've gone over during this episode that could help make a significant impact. You may not have it right now, but take time to think about it. So as always, thanks again for lending me your ears and most importantly, your attention.